All right, Dana White just went live announcing many fights. And yeah, let's get into it. First things first, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Now, a lot of these fights aren't going to come as a surprise to you, especially this one, because if you were following along with the rumors and everything, you would know a lot of these. But still, it's nice to have them official, especially for UFC 317, which is just right around the corner. It's about time. When Dana White started announcing, he's like, relax, we got it. But, I mean, come on, you guys are a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We should have known about this officially, like, weeks ago. But, you know, it is what it is. So, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, like I said. However, the surprise for me is that it's undisputed. Because Makhachev was saying on Twitter a while ago, he was like, if I go up, I'm going to keep the middleweight title, or the lightweight title, sorry, and keep an eye if we get a real contender. And obviously the UFC, I thought they would make an exception for Makhachev, like Team Khabib, but I guess they're not. They really do not want any double champions. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense for business-wise because, you know, no fighter is really going to be able to go bounce up and down divisions, especially like with the weight cutting culture in the UFC. But, you know, it is what it is. I guess we're going to have the new, like, it's just unfortunate because with Topuria moving up and then Volk winning the belt, people are like, is he really the champion or is Ilia? I know if you can't make the weight, then you're not a featherweight, but it is what it is. I think, and now Makhachev's moving up, so is this really the lightweight champion? You know, Makhachev's the undisputed, and he just, you know, relinquished the belt. So, logistic-wise, and especially to the hardcores, it's a little unfortunate that we're not having these belts be removed from the official champion. You know, it's more of just the vacant belt. I mean, vacant belt is better than an interim, I suppose, but it is what it is. Very excited for that fight. Early prediction, Ilia Topuria all the way. I think he gets rid of Oliveira in the first 2 rounds. He's just a nuclear power puncher, especially not having to cut the weight. You know, I think that's an easy night in the office for Topuria. And yeah, moving on, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Another one that was rumored to happen. And yeah, no, I'm not the biggest flyweight fan in the world, but I mean, especially if you're a Alexander Pantoja fan, you know, this is good to see him back in action. You know, he's stacking up a lot of wins in the division. And yeah, what was weird was I seen on an interview or something, he was saying that he doesn't feel the need to go up to 135. He feels like he can just do enough at his division to become a legend or a GOAT or whatever. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know, it's kind of refreshing seeing a champion doesn't want to go up all the time, but at the same time, unfortunately, to get that second belt is way more impressive to a lot of the casuals and a lot of the even hardcore fans in general than just racking up title defenses, because sometimes it gets stagnant and boring, but Pantoja, you know, he always has really good fights, so that's something to look forward to. Then we have Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov, another one that was rumored. Paulo Costa's number 12, Roman Kopylov's number 14. That'll be a really good fight. See where Paulo Costa is. I was a huge Paulo Costa fan back in the day, but I feel like ever since the Adesanya fight, something happened with his confidence, and there's just a different Costa being in there. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just hasn't felt the same. You know, I remember on the highlights, I swear I was telling my friends, I'm like, it's guaranteed Paulo Costa knocks out Adesanya, the eraser. Like, you see in the highlights and everything, he was like next level. He was so exciting. And then the Adesanya thing happened, and the rest was history, I guess. But yeah, no, still a good fight nonetheless. I hope Costa wins. I think Costa still has a lot to offer, especially like hype-wise. He become quite the character on Twitter. So, you know, he's very entertaining on the mic as well. But yeah, hopefully he gets that one done. And then we got a rebooking of Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. That'll be a good one as well. We got Beneil at number 9 and Moicano at number 10. And yeah, we'll see how that went because, yeah, that was supposed to happen, but Moicano had to step in short notice. I don't even know how that one goes now because seeing how easily Moicano was beaten by Makhachev, and I know they're night and day fighters, Beneil and Makhachev, but I just didn't like how easily he was submitted. You know, especially Beneil Dariush, he's taken a lot of damage, but if he can come back in his classic form, I think he can get Moicano out of there. I hope Moicano wins because he's a lot more entertaining on the mic, but I think Moicano's championship run is kind of over. But no, he's still very exciting on the mic, and he's still a very good fighter. So yeah, that's one to look forward to as well. Heavyweight, Johata Deniz versus Justin Tafa. We got a flyweight belt, Brandon Royval versus Manel Cap. Royval is at number 1, and Manel Cap is at number 6. That'll be a decent fight as well. Jack Hermanson versus Robocop Gregory Rodriguez. That'll be great. And then, yeah, that's about it for that. And then he also announced the Chimaev Dricus fight, which, as I said, not a surprise, but still nice to have it being official. Now, hopefully they have a backup fighter because, you know, I would hate for someone to pull out, especially like, you know, Chimaev, he's an amazing fighter, and I hope he wins. Well, I don't hope he wins, but like I hope he shows up to the fight because he's had a lot of medical history lately and injuries and, you know, sickness. So hopefully they have a good replacement. I think Imavov and Bohayo should be on that card in case one of them needs to step up because, yeah, like I said, Chimaev is one of the biggest stars in the UFC, but, you know, it's just, it's risky, you know what I mean? Like, we got to call it how it is. You know, it's unfortunate, but yeah, we definitely need a high-level replacement there, and I don't think Imavov or Bohayo really wants to weigh in just to be a backup. So I think book them together and then have them ready to go in case something happens. I think that's the best way to do it. And then at the end of the announcement video, he's like, all right, you all happy? You all happy? All right, let me check the comments. So he goes and checks the comments, and then people are like, where's Jones? Where's Aspinall? Jones Aspinall? What's going on? What's going on? Like, people were spamming. And he's like, oh, I told you guys I'd figure that fight out. We'll get that done soon. We'll get that official soon. So, I mean, at this point, if you have faith in Dana White, I mean, by all means, go ahead. I just don't think that fight's going to be official. And if it does, my honest opinion, not to be a pessimist or whatever, but I feel like even if it does get signed, John Jones is going to have some sort of injury and, you know, the fight will be scrapped and then, you know, he'll probably retire. So that's just my honest opinion. You know, it's all speculation. I don't think John Jones is scared by any means, but I just don't know if they're going to come with the money that John Jones wants. The UFC is known for not being super great with their stars, especially John Jones and the UFC haven't had the best relationship over the years. I mean, they could get it done, especially with all these deals. Like Dana White's now dealing with Turki Al-Sheikh, so I really don't understand how they haven't just thrown the biggest pile of money towards John and had this fight signed, you know, months ago. But what do I know? I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a businessman managing a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So my opinion doesn't mean much. But yeah, hopefully they get that done. If anything, it'll probably be done in November, Madison Square Garden. That's my guess. But yeah, there's also a video of John on a moped, I think, in Thailand for this thing he's coaching against some Russian Ultimate Fighter, basically spin-off kind of thing. He's going against Nate Diaz, which is, you know, strange. Apparently Daniel Cormier got the call for that, but he didn't want to because he couldn't fight John and he didn't want to have to deal with him in a foreign country for a month, which, I mean, fair enough, I guess. But yeah, he was on the moped and he was on live and people were like, ducking Aspinall, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm living such a good life. How am I ducking Aspinall? That doesn't make any sense. I'm living my best life. So, I don't know. It's just so annoying because I seen on Twitter as well, Curtis Blade saying like, strip John Jones, end of discussion. And it's so true. I think if I was a heavyweight, I'd be so annoyed with the state of the division. It's like, they just need an active, reliable champion. It's just, I'm just caring less and less and less about the Aspinall-Jones fight. I think they should just get the Gone fight going. You know, especially if John Jones can't commit to anything. Like, you know, Aspinall's getting onto a borderline Michael Chandler McGregor position. So I'd hate that to happen, especially for Aspinall, since he's actually in the prime, or he's approaching the prime of his career. So hopefully they get that figured out. But if not, get him in there. He needs to be active. He needs to be doing something with his prime because nothing worse than seeing a fighter's prime waste away, especially when they're not injured or anything's going on. You know what I mean? it's a very unfortunate situation. And yeah, hopefully Dana White does right by John, and John does right to the UFC and the fans. But like I said, if you have faith in Dana White, by all means, go ahead. But I don't. I don't think that fight's going to happen. But hey, I'm welcome to be proven wrong. And yeah, that's about it for the announcements. And yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. And see you guys on the next one.